Oh, yeah. All right. We'll play by Okay, cool. All right. So now we're here in the working.
I want to take 2 minutes before we start. I've gone live, but I haven't started recording yet.
Oh, yeah, give me more like 5.
5 minutes?
I need some, let me go to the bathroom.
Sure.
Do that. This is a drink. I'm not.
Did everybody get a chance to sign in? There's a sheet back there. You can just check your name off. There's no rush. Just check out your name.
Something says it up for us. Okay. We never found that.
Oh, you want a bottle? Oh, great, okay. So, are we waiting or?
No, but if you're ready, I'll.
All right. Kilo. Okay. 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 Sure. You're gonna edit this? Watch him drinking water.
That's only if it was close. Go ahead.
So you can just push the part.
Okay.
Go ahead or with the arrows.
Move the arrows, all right.
Good morning, everybody.
We're good.
Thank you for joining us today at Constant Contact Training. I'm going to introduce Mr. Michael Pila. He's here to give us all kinds of insight into how to better use Constant Contact for our purposes. So, Michael, take it away.
Thank you. Good morning. So I just want to get a sense of the room before I start. So everyone here works for a library. Okay. Actually, my first job was at a library at Fordham Road in the Bronx, in the children's section. And I got really good at neatening up shelves. My bookshelves at home are impeccable. The good thing about this job was there was no air conditioning, so they sent us home early with pay in the summer. So that was a nice job that way. How many people here are already Constant Contact users, subscribers? Everybody. Okay, great. So that was everybody, right? Yeah. So today's presentation is like an overview of email marketing, why it's so effective, what are the best ways to use it. So, it's not a sales pitch for Constant Contact per se, but it's basically how to get the most out of your email marketing. So again, it's sort of a middle of the road presentation. As I mentioned, there's a mixed level of experience in the room. So if there's something that seems a little too simple, or you want a little bit more detailed explanation, please feel free to throw up your hands, and I'll be more than happy to fill you in. All right, so let's get started. This is me again. It's a picture from back in time. I was in a time machine this morning, went back 15 years, took my picture, dropped it in there. So my company is Pila Creative Marketing. Basically, personally, my company is a digital marketing company. We do branding campaigns for businesses and organizations that integrate website development, content development, social and email marketing. So if anybody has any questions about any of those at the end of the training, I'd be more than happy to talk to you. So, Constant Contact, obviously, you know this, you're already subscribed. There's a number of things you can do. Obviously, you do newsletters and announcements. There's modules that let you do offers and promotion, depending on what level subscription you have. Feedbacks and surveys, which is a very underutilized module of Constant Contact. It's a great way to create content for your own newsletters, to take the temperature of your community and what have you. So it's a really, like I said, it's very, very much underused. And of course, you can manage events and registrations. So today's agenda, we're going to basically talking about what marketing means today, how marketing has changed from maybe what we originally what we're used to, setting up goals, the type of campaigns that can drive people to action, and basically how to get started. So marketing today. Where are you today? You're here. So basically we're all on social media. Now I imagine you all have social media accounts that go along with your email accounts. Okay. How many people are sort of using them in conjunction with each other? Using one to feed the other, kind of, sort of? Okay, fine, all right. So mostly it's Facebook or wherever it comes. Instagram's gotten huge. Any Twitter is the kind of thing where you're either a tweeter or you're not. It's one of those things, you either get it or you don't. And if you don't get it, it's not that important. If you do get it, it's a very, very effective tool. Snapchat is actually growing in popularity with what we refer to as Gen Z, basically teenagers, people in their early 20s are driven to Snapchat. So, what's the number one application on cell phones? Anybody want to take a guess?
Facebook.
No? What? No? No, believe it or not, it's email. Most people go to their, I'm sure there's people here now just itching to check their email. But the number one app on mobile devices is email. Right. So more than half of all emails are opened on a mobile app. If you use Constant Contact, it'll tell you the percentage of people who are desktop and on mobile. And me, it actually comes down to like a 65-35 split. Most of my people on my list are in business, they're in their offices, so most of them are checking their email on their desktop computers, but about 35 to 40% using mobile. So it's sort of an interesting stat. So like I said, marketing is about getting to results. It's about picking a particular audience, sending them a particular message, and getting them to do basically take a specific action. Now, I know what this means for business. In the case of library, what kind of actions or what kind of things do you want your community to do?
Come to our events and programs.
Okay, come to events. Okay.
Sign up for programs.
So basically, you're mostly promoting events.
Yes.
Okay. Do you do anything else like I don't know? Do you get like new books in? No, it's just basically come to the library to see.
Also, promotion of services.
Yeah, that's something like that. Okay, do you have new services? I know I'm from Millburg, and the library there is heavily promoting their cyber services. So you can come in, use their computer, you come in, you can learn a language or whatever, totally without ever touching a human being. So what kind of results are we talking about? Mostly, again, in your case, it's basically getting people to come to events. And in a business situation, we're looking to get clicks or downloads. And some of these may apply to you. If they don't apply to you now, think about how they may apply to you in the future. Physical visits to the office or store, make reservations or appointments, you're talking about events, or just calls. You're looking to drive calls, you're looking to get people to again, talk to you, call for information. And ultimately, it's all about generating donations or sales. Does anybody do any fundraising via email? No?
Well, I use it in another nonprofit group. So
Right.
yeah, that's with the PayPal, like it's.
Right, yeah,
connected to
right.
PayPal.
Now, again, just enlighten me a little bit here. Can libraries do fundraising, or are you totally supported by, you can do your own fundraising drives? Yes.
Usually have like,
What, excuse me?
typically have like grant groups or foundations that do stuff like that for us.
Okay,
So
yes.
they work with us.
They work with you. Okay, but you can still feedback on that stuff. And you, Miss?
I made the same point, friends groups,
Oh,
work with foundations to do fundraising.
Yes, okay, cool, right? And yes?
We do garage sales, so I promote that.
Oh, that's interesting, yeah, that's cool. Whose garage? I mean, like, do people bring stuff, sort of like,
But we have tables at the library, you can rent the tables
Oh,
at the library, or they can do it at their own home, but we publicize.
oh, you
all
come,
our
oh, that's
homes.
interesting, okay. I was picturing like, sort of like a potluck dinner,
No,
only with
no,
stuff,
no.
people.
No.
Clean out your closet, come to the library. So, when we refer to marketing today, we're talking about building the funnel. The old idea about marketing was you appeal to as many people as possible in the hopes that you'll find the 2 or 3 people who really love you and are going to use your services. What we're doing now is exactly the opposite. We're starting out looking for that small core group of people who are predisposed to doing business with you. In fact, what I refer to it in my business, I refer to it as micro celebrity. That you want to be really, really famous with a small group of people. You don't need the entire world. You don't need everybody coming to your door. In case of local businesses and organizations, you really don't need fans in Oklahoma. You basically want people who can walk into your library, take advantage of your services. So that's sort of the thrust, is to focus on people who you have shared values and interests with. Engagement, basic through both social media and email marketing, is the new word of mouth. And again, it's about sharing information and topics that you all have a shared interest in. And engagement is also about getting these people to share your information with their friends. So you really want to sort of work the viral element at this. And for example, I launched a restaurant. Our client was a brand new restaurant in Hoboken. We did this restaurant launch. The demographic was going to be fairly young, so the entire campaign was digital. And we only had like maybe 200 Twitter followers. But those 200 people, we targeted the influencers in Hoboken. So we had some Twitter followers who had like 5,000 followers in Hoboken. So by reaching the key people in Hoboken, those 200 people allowed us to cover the entire city. So that's the idea of finding people who will share your information, people who will become active fans of your organization. And here we are okay, I'm running ahead of the presentation. Now, Constant Contact does allow you to put a sharing bar on all of your emails. So your people who receive your emails can easily share that information either on their social media platforms or with their friends. So the idea is to keep the information as viral as possible. So your customers love you. And again, that's what I mean by finding people who share your values. These people, you're able to create a emotional connection with them. So it goes beyond just being a customer or even someone who just uses the library. I'm sure you have people that are really committed to the library, who really use it on a regular basis. Now, again, for my own information, what is the makeup of the people who use your library? Is it mostly, say, people with children who are either looking for something to do or they're helping them with their homework? Is it maybe retired people or slightly older people who basically looking very broad? Like
Not
anybody?
the 20-year-olds, though.
They don't mind reading.
Yeah. Or the not many 20, 30-year-olds.
So they start out when they're young, and then
Yeah.
when they're finished with whatever it is they're doing, they come back later. Because personally, I was surprised to find out the number of services my local library offered. And again, there's a lot of cyber services they're really pushing. I talked again about, my wife and I want to learn Italian. We can basically do that at the library. We don't necessarily need to go to Berlitz or something. So it's kind of, that was sort of it's kind of obvious once you realize it, but it was a real eye-opener at the time. Okay, set marketing goals. So what kind of goals do we want to set? You want to keep them fairly general, but basically you want to engage people on various levels. You want to increase donations. You want to reach people. You want to engage. By engaging is more of a two-way conversation. Engaging isn't just simply putting information out there, but it's putting information out there that people will either like, share, or comment on. And those are kind of the people you want to hang on to. Again, your marketing objectives are measurable, as we said before. All of these things, and especially with Constant Contact, you get numbers and find out who among the people on your list are your real fans and the people you need to really stay in touch with. And again, you do some general marketing goals. And it's always good when you set, first of all, any sort of a campaign, you should set a goal. And it's always good to set a goal that you know you can reach. It's nice to say, we're going to triple our traffic. We're going to triple our traffic in the next 6 months. But it sounds great, but it may be totally unrealistic. Let's say you want to increase your traffic by 20% over the next 6 months. That's something that's manageable, right? You want to keep your goals manageable, both for morale, because nobody doesn't like hitting a target, and just basically be productive. Write this down. So like we said, it's not enough to just say we want more visitors. It's how many visitors that we're going to get. It's not enough to say you want more revenue or donations. Again, it's put a number to that. Basically to hold yourself and your organization accountable. So, campaign. What sort of campaigns are we talking? Are there any questions? No, you're just hanging on my everywhere. Okay. So basically a campaign is what we said before. You put information out there, you have a specific action in mind, and people will perform that action. So this particular case, obviously, Guerrilla Doctors is looking for donations. They probably have a really, really good list. That was the purpose of this newsletter. Go back to that for now. Okay, so this is a general campaign where they're holding a special this month. They're doing a client appreciation month. It's a yoga studio. They want to let people know that they've got this promotion going during the year. So it's sort of an announcement more than anything else. The other great thing about Constant Contact is it allows you to brand your emails. So your emails look like the rest of your promotional material. Now again, for libraries, how much leeway do you have in promoting yourselves? Do the individual libraries have sort of a brand? Do they have sort of an identity?
Yeah, they kind of have.
An identity. So it's not just the amorphous library, it's whatever the local community is, say a library. And again, a lot of people ask, well, what do I need an email marketing platform for? I could just send out a bunch of emails. And there's several problems with that. First of all, you're going to get tagged as a spammer. There's only so many emails you're allowed to send out through a regular email server like Outlook or something like that. Generally, you're your email provider will limit one particular email, there may be 50 individual emails or 50 names. With an email service, you can basically send to as many people as on your list. And the other good thing is what we were talking about before, is branding. People will know that your email has come from you. So again, you're building loyalty, you're building a relationship with these people. So you can carry over your graphics, your identity, your messaging in your emails. It becomes an integrated part of your campaign. So again, many reasons to use email. Email is actually the most cost-effective type of digital marketing. And again, it is very, very flexible. You can use it for a lot of different things, as you can see here. I use it to keep in constant contact, no pun intended, with my list, with my potential clients. And also, email has the best return on investment, again, of any digital marketing media. Now, I always get the question that, well, I don't read my emails anymore, or people don't read emails anymore. And that's not quite true. What people will read emails they're interested in. They used to read everything, now they'll basically read something that's either from someone they know, or, and we're going to get to this in a little bit of detail in a few minutes, but it's either someone they know or a topic they're interested in. So again, it comes back to targeted list, finding loyal customers or visitors. How do you refer to the people who come to your library?
Patrons.
What?
Patrons.
I'm sorry.
Patrons.
Patrons. Okay. Not visitors, bookworms.
Customers.
So we're back to the yoga studio. So again, you do promotions on Facebook. There's a really tight integration with Constant Contact and Facebook. Has anybody taken advantage of that? You have. How do you use that?
I feed the emails sent out to Facebook, and I change up some of the text to make it more clickable.
Oh, great. Okay. Now, do you do that like over a period of time? I know you can set multiple. You can have that ad run multiple times.
Right. I only do it just once though.
Yeah. All right. You might try at least twice because you never know who's. You're never gonna read. Everybody doesn't see everything, so you never know who's gonna see what when. So you may just try that more than once and see if it improves your numbers.
Can anyone show us how to do that?
Yeah. How do you feed it?
Yeah.
It says when you're scheduling the email to send, there's a prompt after that for
Yeah.
simple share. And if you have your Facebook page connected to your Constant Contact account, you can push the email that went out as a Facebook post that people can click on.
Right.
Okay, so that's when you're sending the email.
Just as you're ready to go with it. Yeah. Just like when you're setting. It asks you when you want to send this.
Mhm.
You want to do it now. You want to do it later.
Yeah.
There's a secondary prompt.
Okay.
And then again, depending on the level of account you have, it'll take you a lot of times to another page, and on another page you can schedule. It's like a little calendar. You can schedule when it goes out. So you
And it's only to Facebook, not to Twitter and all that stuff.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And okay, again, you're like you guys do promote events. So how many people use the event module on Constant Contact? No, you don't? No, if you're doing it, you really should. It's real. I mean, I use it for my own events. And it allows you to, basically you can send out emails, you can send out invites through the event module. It'll tell you who signed up. It'll tell you if they're bringing a guest. And it'll,
So that's like a registration?
yeah, you can do registration, yeah. You can sell tickets through PayPal on this. So it'll keep, or you can do donations through it. So it's a really, really robust event module. I use it all the time.
Buckles offers LiveCal. Is LiveCal and Constant Contact somehow
What is it that they?
it's like,
Calendar.
it's a
Oh,
calendar.
okay, yeah.
So are we able to use our events that we schedule on Constant Contact to use it with LibCal?
Well, when people sign up for events,
Uh-huh.
there's a prompt that do you want to add this to your calendar? And it's generally iCal or Google, yes.
No, we link it to something
Yeah, I
like
think it-
LibCal. Is it Eventbrite?
Yeah.
It's Eventbrite, yeah.
Yeah,
So
link to that.
when they register,
Right.
they click the link and it takes them to the LibCal.
I didn't know what the name of it, yeah, I know it does all that, I didn't,
Yeah.
because it's fairly seamless, so
It is.
the only thing I care about is that it works.
So, but what you're talking about is the event, people who register directly on Constant Contact.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, you would, it's a whole module, so it's a suite of elements. So you would create an event page in Constant Contact. You would create an event email in Constant Contact, and then you would create a registration page, again in Constant Contact. So either you either send out an email invite that people can respond to, or you can just send them a link to the event page.
That's what we do.
Yes.
Just curious, so through Constant Contact, if we were to set up the registration, we could see on our end where we could adjust things, cancel people, see how many.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We have that access on.
You have that access, you can set a limit to how many people you want to say, it's a room, with a certain number of chairs, you can set a limit to how many people are coming. What I find it really good for is I do a lot of events through like local chambers of commerce, right? Or through this organization. And they'll promote them to their email list. Now, I don't have access to their email list, but if somebody signs up for my event, suddenly I've collected another email. You know, so I have another prospect. So it's a really great tool for prospecting in that result.
Where does it say it's at?
Is that part of our?
It depends on the type of account you have.
So is it part of the Bubbles practice?
Yes, it is.
I don't know, but I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what
Yeah.
you guys have. Okay,
There's like newsletter, blank email, I forget what they're called, but we have many things we can do. Maybe we should look at it.
I was gonna say, can we get it up on,
Sure.
can you get the account, what is it, the Buckles account?
Yes.
Okay, we're being spontaneous. I have a cousin who's an English teacher, and he said, the key to a successful class, he said, make it as much like the Letterman show as you can. So that's how this pulls under that. Pretty soon, no one's gonna know what the Letterman show was, and then I have to find another point of reference. Oops.
I have to get the login. The thing is, we have a partner account, so once we log in, we can look at a specific library. So let me get the login.
Okay, yeah, I just want to get a general,
Yeah.
give them like a general tour of. Anyway, so while we're waiting, let me keep talking. So this is what I was talking about before about the surveys. I mean, I do surveys occasionally, asking my clients what kind of media they like, or if there's a specific, like the restaurant client, we can do things on, you know, what do they prefer? Do they prefer, you know, brunch versus dinner? You know, are there particular dishes they like? This restaurant was was sort of like a modern version of an Indian restaurant. I refer to it as an Indian restaurant for people who don't like Indian food. It was sort of an American Indian fusion. I mean, it didn't look like an Indian restaurant. It looked like a cafe in Manhattan. It was like, of course, there's exposed brick, you know. And the menu was an update. Basically, we took American dishes and used Indian ingredients. So, for instance, we took the naan bread and made pizzas out of them. So instead of hamburgers, we had lamb burgers. So using the ingredients of India, we basically reinterpreted American classics. And to promote the pizzas, to promote the restaurant, I did like a fake taste test, where we had people compare the pizzas, on the video. And of course, they preferred the naan bread, but it was just sort of a cute way to drive home the difference between, what we had and the other stuff you could find at Hoboken. Because Hoboken has like a pizza shop in every block. So.
Are you talking about that old place on 6th and Washington?
Yeah. Now that used to be Matt and Mira.
Yeah.
Matt and Mira was my client. The chef from Matt and Mira then took it over and made that. Have you been there?
No.
Oh, wait.
I go to Karma.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's the big competitor. Yeah.
So Michael, this is our Buckles.
Okay. All right.
This
So
looks
let's.
somewhat familiar to everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you want to see? Let's see. What do you have access to?
Create.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I mean, there's this stupid errors. So these are things. Okay, right. So these are all the things we're able to do. Right? These are automation ads. Anybody take advantage of email automation? That's like the next, like the new frontier in emails, email automation. And what it allows you to do, did you want to look at events? Or
Events and.
you want to see the event module? Hmm?
You should do.
Oh, no, you should really, no, these are very, very powerful. Yeah, okay, we can go, we'll go off script. So the way the event module works is basically you create an event. This is it starts here. Basically, you put in the general information about events. From there, we'll generate a number of different pages. So here, you can create like a dummy event. Like I said, can I see? All right, so we're gonna create a dummy event. So obviously the title of the event, what do you want to call it? This is okay. So there's a title. This is what the file name is going to be. So you know what it is. We're going to do what type of event are we talking about here? As you can see, there's a huge number of options. Let's pick something. Is there anything that looks relevant?
Concert.
Concerts? You do a lot of concerts?
Yes.
Oh, it's concerts.
Music.
Music. There you go. Okay. Enter. Okay. Somebody give me some kind of music.
Jazz.
Jazz in the stacks. How's that? All right. Then we set the other. Here we go. We have a starting date, so obviously the calendar. We can pick whatever day we want. Let's see. It's going to do a Monday. If it's a multi-day event, so you can set the beginning and end time. Set the time again, time zone. Whether it's a physical location or it's a virtual event, you can use your own address. Location venture, and we're going to say library. Yes, thank God. Library of stuff. There we go. So we're gonna use the event, address, or anything, okay, so basically you can either use the address that's associated with your account, if that's where you're holding the event, or at any other venue you can come up with. You wanna have a contact, again, it's gonna be a person, an organization, whatever, email address. You know, whichever email addresses you have approved on your account, that's where people can contact you for information. Obviously, phone number. So, anyways, you have all this stuff. We can go through this, later. Right. If you have a venue with a limited number of seats, you can basically indicate that here, that at a certain point, registration will cease. You want to show people a list of who's coming. A lot of times, if it's a professional, it's not professional, if you want to know who else is coming. I'd want to know if it's a local event, for instance, from the Chamber of Commerce. It's nice for me to know that I have friends already registered for this. It would make me more likely to come. And it would probably work the same in any sort of a local. So even a music concert, it might be nice for people to see that their friends are also attending. Again, they can sign up for your newsletter. So there's a whole host of fields that are built into this. Okay, event now. Again, there's another settings. Can people bring guests? Are you accepting fees in what currency, so is it free? Is there is it a free event? Is it a paid event? Are you offering additional items? So anyway, you kind of get the idea. You can create a discount code, so you can basically control every aspect of inviting people to your event, every aspect of creating the event. Short of hiring the musicians, you can do here.
So if there is a fee and then you would click finish, then it should bring you to, if you have the PayPal connected.
Right, yeah, right. Okay, so then we come to, so that's the basic information. Now from there, we're going to create a registration form. I think they said, yes, see, so there's one created automatically. If you're happy with this, you can just use this as is. Again, see, it includes a link to your calendar. People can automatically add this to their calendar. There's a locator map, so they can get driving directions. There's your contact information. Here are all the fields we selected. Let's just say, Eddie Smith. Email addresses. Again, they can opt to receive your newsletter or not. Again, that's especially useful if if this is going to people who don't know you. You're giving them an opportunity to become on your mailing list. Again, here we can link to several. So we can announce this basically on Facebook and Twitter. You can print tickets. Not today, but other days you can print tickets, and that's basically so this whole registration process. So actually, what this is, I could print out my ticket. Excuse me, that's what this is. So this is for the person. Okay, so this is for the person who registered for the event. So it allows them to, print out their tickets. It allows them to share the fact that they're going to this event on Facebook and Twitter. You can create a confirmation page, so people know when they register for your event, they know that, you know, you've got their information, you're on their list, you know. And this is another opportunity to sell them. And here goes, you know, thank you again for registering for our event, blah, you know, blah, 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 right there. Your event, and then, right, so you've even got a message for people who decide not to go. And what else do we have here? Oh, this is the other thing here. So this would be the event landing page. So if someone is, so if someone is clicking on a link in an email, they would go to a special page that you'd create, which would have, again, all the information. This allows you to be a little bit more creative than the regular registration page. The registration page is basically to collect their information, have them register for the event. This would be the first thing they'd see would be a landing page, and you can sort of really get fancy with the landing page. You can show them you know, additional information, show them visuals, you can link to a video, so you can make this a very, very rich experience, you know, once you sort of invited them for the email. All right, any questions? No? Anybody going to use this now? Maybe?
So
Yes.
you link your email to this.
Yes. Yeah, we would create this.
Or you create your email and then create.
Yes. Was there anything else we wanted to look at? We talked about automation. Okay, let's go back to. Campaigns now. Email automation. There's several types of email automation. It means that the email is triggered either by an action or some sort of a date. So, for instance, how many of you, you know, or regularly go to a store or a restaurant and you get an email when it's close to your birthday? Okay, so that's basically set up for that particular client. We know what their birthday is, so that'll go out automatically. It's not like who's ever running their email marketing doesn't have to go in there every day and look up whose birthday it is. Basically, you can preload the entire year up front. Or anniversaries, or the anniversary of the first time you've come to a particular restaurant or something. In the case of libraries, you could probably do things for holidays. If you're going to do special events or programs for holidays, or on the other side is even if you're going to be closed for holidays, that can make that part of your email too. But you can do that automatically. Right? You don't basically need to, you know, you can set that up once and it'll take care of itself. Welcome emails is another one. If somebody either signs up for your email list, or let's say they're going to your event, or whatever, something like that, you can send them a pre-made email with additional information. Yes?
How are you collecting the information for things like their birthdays? How are you collecting the information to put it into your exchanges?
I mean, they have to give it to you, basically.
Right.
So part of
where do
the,
you suggest that we collect that information?
well, it depends on how you're like onboarding the particular person. I mean, in the case of library, well, people have to sign up for cards, right? Okay, so part of that process could be, and it could be optional, you know, and I know how suspicious people are about giving out their personal information. We just make it clear that that's optional, and just basically, you know, it's for, you know, demographic reasons. You like to get a good idea of who your patrons are.
So if we have that information in our database, how is Constant Contact going to get that or pull that information for us?
Well, when you create a record for a particular person on your list, one of the options is to put in their birthday.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right, so you have a whole, the database that comes along with this also has a lot of additional features.
Right.
But again, you can do that. And then the other cool thing from a sales point is basically an email series. So let's say you're running a Facebook ad, and a Facebook ad is a downloadable. Usually, the best way to get people to give you their email address online is to offer them something, some sort of a downloadable PDF or access to a video. Especially in the case of libraries, basically any subject matter is open to you. So you can basically, let's say, do you either put together or you get permission to use, say, downloadable either about climate control or something about a particular holiday or something that would appeal to your particular community. And in exchange for that, basically, they give you their email and you give them something. I'm sure everybody's done this, right? You've gotten things online. You signed up for stuff online, right? Yeah. Well, the same thing there. So once you've got their email, you could then set them up for a series of emails that would again come out automatically. So let's say somebody decided to either made a donation or somebody became a member of your library. You could set them up for a monthly newsletter or a monthly set of reminders. And from a sales standpoint, once somebody signs up, you give them a series of emails that gives them more information about your company and your product and maybe additional offers. Generally ending in the best possible offer. Okay, let's just see how this works. Again, I'm kind of doing this by, let's see how this works. Okay, so we called it the library thing. We want to trigger. It's going to trigger the series of emails. Okay, so they can be triggered by simply opening the email. And again, these are people on your list, right? If you're on your, they're going to trigger by either opening a click a specific link, or they become members of your list. So each one of these things will trigger a pre-made email. It happens without you. It happens automatically, so you don't have to be hovering over this. So let's just go with any preferences? Open the email. All right, let's see what happens then. Okay, see, so again, you can either create a specific one, or if you have a campaign that's already running, you can pick one of those. Let's go with, I don't want to pry as to what these, so let's just say, we're going to do one later. Okay, now as you can see, we're scheduling the email. So they'll open the original email, which we're going to create. We're going to wait 4 days, and we're going to send a second one. And basically, we can do this, as many times as we need to. Now, it doesn't have to be 4 days. Let's make this what?
7.
What would be least annoying? Like 7 days? I mean, you could do weeks, hours. I'm sorry. Yes.
So in our case, we would use this for reminder emails.
Yes,
We have an
right.
event coming, so.
Yes, that's the perfect, right, that's the perfect use for this, right, yes, right. I've done that, because a lot of times, especially with free events, like, at least half of the people are not going to show up. Because they, yes?
So what's the difference between just scheduling like regular emails? Like I could schedule an email and then a reminder email a week from now without using the email or automation. So like what's the benefit of using the automation?
Well, you can do more than just, basically here you're doing it all in one place.
Okay.
That's the first thing. This gives you a little bit more flexibility. And it allows you to look at it and do it as an integrated campaign rather than just singular emails. Because you may forget, they may not quite work together.
imagine this is also good for, if we're setting this for when they open the email, only the people who open.
That's actually, that's it, yeah, the difference, I'm sorry, but you're right. The difference are the triggers.
Right.
All right, that's right. Well, you can schedule a number of emails, but you really don't know if they're going to open them or not. But this is here. These are emails that are triggered by specific events or dates.
By people opening and upgrading.
Right, because that's somebody who's already taken a step towards it.
Registered, you can probably click registered as a trigger, yes?
Yeah, well, that's clicking on a link.
Right.
Yeah, so register with clicking on a link. So that would be.
If you have like a bunch of different links within one email, you can choose the follow-up. You can specify which follow-up they get based on which links they click within.
Yeah, if you want to get really specific, like for instance, I wrote a book. I wrote a book on, it's sort of a humorous take on starting your own business. So, I could do an ad where people can either buy the book outright, right, or they can download a sample chapter. And that would trigger different events. So it allows you to be really, really interactive with your audience. Okay, we're going to change this to 7.
Please.
7 weeks? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, there you go. I carried away. And again, it's whatever. So anyway, you get the idea here. So once this is done, I'm not sure about me activated. Right, so you can choose, so how many people segment your list? Right, you all have an email list, you want to segment them according to interest or whatever, right? So, okay. Yeah, ages, interests, whether they came to an event before or whether they did not come. You know, you can either do it the other way, you know. The regular email has a nice feature called, you know, you could resend that email to people who did not open it the first time. And it's a great way to thin out your list. Because I've had people like remove themselves off the list because they got the second email, you know, which was fine because they clearly weren't interested anyway. But all right, so we're going to select. If you don't mind if I select one, this is your list. We're just we can trash this when we're done. Again, here we can, like any other regular email, you can schedule this whenever you want it to go out. And there, okay, I'm just going to cancel at this point because, you know, whatever. But you see how this could be really useful as far as keeping in touch with people over a period. So it's not just a one-shot email. You know, you're basically able to sort of build a campaign or build a conversation with this.
So
Yes.
once we set up that campaign,
Yeah.
can we copy that campaign again
Yeah.
and run the exact one later, or even edit
Yeah,
one and
yeah.
run it again later?
Right, like you want to run it again with a different list. Or you want to tweak the information a little bit, you know. So how are we doing time-wise? I'm not really sure.
It's 10:30.
Okay. Really? It's always my problem. How long? I never got an end time. I'm sorry to.
We have it scheduled till 12. So
12.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you're welcome
That's just Babylon. Okay.
Can I
Yes.
take time to ask a question
Sure.
about the email function? There are some people that have apparently email filters on their accounts. I just
Mhm.
encountered a new one called BitBounce. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Anyway, your email doesn't go through. You get a notice back, another email saying this person subscribes to this filter.
Yeah,
and
those
you
I've
have to
seen.
accept. If you want it to go through, you have to pay 5 cents of cryptocurrency.
Well, this sounds like a scam, actually.
Could be, but I haven't been able to get to the bottom of it yet. But is there a way with email filters for your message to
Right.
go through?
I'm not entirely sure,
Is it
but I would
dependent
say,
on the receiver?
well, I would say anybody who puts that in there is not looking to receive a lot of emails. That you have to put that in yourself, that's not an automatic thing.
Unless it's a scam, it's me.
Unless it's a scam, which is, always a possibility. But whoever put that in obviously is not interested in reading random emails, The thing to keep in mind is the most important thing you can do with email marketing is list building. That's the most important thing, and not only list building, but also make sure that list is as targeted as possible. So first of all, you want to get some sort of tacit permission from people to receive your emails. So so let's say they signed up for the event. On the event registration form, you looked at, there was a box that said, yes, I'd like to get your newsletter. So that's somebody who's interested. It's also been suggested that you send, like, let's say you go to a networking event, you collect a bunch of business cards. It's been recommended that you send each one of those people an email saying, would you like to hear more from me? So the point is that the more targeted the list is, and the more you know about the people on your list, the less likely you are to run into something like that. And of course, the other problem is you don't want to be tagged as a spammer. Constant Contact will throw people off of the network if they get too many spam complaints. So that's also something to keep in mind. But again, you don't need to reach like hundreds of thousands of people. You're looking for a very small targeted group that's going to support you throughout. So, is there anything else? Well, we yeah, please, yes.
This is saved in our campaigns just like regular email, so when we want to go
Yeah.
back and copy it, find it under campaigns?
Yeah.
What
I
do
mean,
we
I didn't
do?
activate this,
Right,
but yes,
I
it'll
mean,
show up.
It would just show up under our
It shows up
campaigns.
with everything else if you're doing. Do you have a question?
I do. Could you
Yes,
suggest action words we could use in subject headers that would compel people to open our emails?
Actually, I anticipated that question. Let me go back to the presentation.
Actually, you want me to bring that back up again?
Yes, please. All right, we deal with that in the presentation here. We have a section on subject. Because the second most important thing, the most important thing is your list. The second most important thing is what's in the subject line. And you really need to catch people right away with that. Oh, here we are. Where are we now? We're going to promote event, and we did all this stuff. What else would be common? Okay. Right, okay, so this is just a wrapping up. And everything being mobile friendly. Constant Contact is inherently mobile friendly. There's some sort of a call to action in all of these. So they're basically what all these campaigns have in common. Is they run on email and social, there's specific action you want people to take, and they work great on mobile. Track everything, okay. Just give me a second here. Best for you, okay. Yeah, so we have, different types of campaigns, what kind of content work with those campaigns, and basically the best way to put those out. So you said the majority of the campaigns you run are for events? And what sort of events are we talking about?
Like talks.
Lecture, concert.
Right.
Or
Okay.
the children's program.
Children's programs, right? Okay, so that's where you would get your content. Okay. And how often do you do those?
Twice a month, 3 times a quarter.
Oh, okay. That's pretty.
How much is too much, like, let's say, you know,
More than once a week.
okay,
I shoot for once a week, but I'm sending out information.
yeah.
I send information stuff. I would also keep it, do you do multiple events?
Sometimes.
Yeah, because I would, ideally, you'd want to do one event per email.
Yes, that we do.
Right, yeah, okay, so you're already doing a lot of great things, okay? Great. Okay, so here we're talking about, this is the section about lines. And it isn't necessarily action words as it is keywords. Because again, the key to getting people to open your email is got to be something they're interested in. You know, so there's only, you know, so I mean, like the word new is, well, new actually always works, but it's kind of overused. So this is okay. So these are the things that come in that really determine if people are going to open your email or not. Things you need to keep in mind. So the first thing people look for is who's the email from, right? If it's somebody they know, is it an organization they're happy with, again, then they're most likely to open the email. We're getting into the subject line and header. So what is this? What is actually the email about? And the other thing you have to ask yourself is when you're going to send this. When's the best time to send, and when's the best, you know, how often to post, and when's the best time to send. So basically deciding, you know, maybe you don't, maybe for a particular announcement you don't want to necessarily do an email, you want to do Facebook, or you want to do a social media post, or you want to do a combination. It depends on where do you have your biggest presence. You know, where do you get your most traction? What's sort of working best for you now? Okay, this is sort of like a disclaimer, you know. Who's it from, right? Now this is also where branding comes into play. You want people to again, people open emails they're interested in. These it's clear that these are often from. It's clear where these are from. So you know there's a high probability people are going to react to these. And what's the subject, right? What is the subject of your email? And we like to, you know, it's basically the 222, you know, the 222. Basically, you've got 2 seconds to get their attention. People invariably will read the first 2 words, you know, and you have to basically decide, you know, today, when you're going to do this. So, here, let's try this. Okay, so let's say, So yeah, let's just do this as a brief exercise. So let's pick like an event, right? Where we're talking about some sort of a jazz concert. Okay, so what sort of subject line would you write?
Hot
To
jazz
get people.
concert.
Live jazz?
Well, what about the artist? Maybe you know, is the artist something would have some sort of, you know?
People may not really know.
Depends on the artist. Like hot jazz in the summertime or something. Or, yeah. Right. Or cool jazz. I should be cool jazz in the summertime and hot jazz in the wintertime. I did a promo for a bar in South Orange, and she was lucky enough to have Bernie Williams. You know, the Yankees. Yeah, you go. So that's basically all we had to say. You know, Bernie Williams guitar. You know, and the place, that was like the most successful email. But it just shows you if it's something people know or something people are interested in, you know, you're going to get reactions. So again, you want to keep it short, right? And keep it short. You want to make it impactful, and you know, does it matter today? Now, when to send and post. So how often do you post for social media? Just curious, just on average. Like when you think about it, or? Well, 3 to 5 times a week is kind of, what's most important is that you do it consistently. Like, I run into a lot of people who, like, they'll have a flurry of activity over like a 2 to 3 month period, and then they'll disappear for 6 months. And you're kind of losing all the traction you had, that you had built up. My suggestion to all my clients is that they be consistent. So it almost doesn't matter what you do, just that you do it consistently. And that you basically do what you're comfortable doing. You're not obligated to post everywhere, but basically pick the 1 or 2 platforms you're most comfortable with, and stick with those for a good 6 months to a year, posting 3 to 5 times a week. Now, you don't have to always come up with original content, and this actually also applies to emails. You don't have to. You can actually curate something you guys are doing already. You can actually curate the content. So basically, reuse content that someone else created, as long as you give them attribution. As long as you're not pretending that it's something you created yourself, you're fine as far as copyright laws go. What this does for you is actually, it sort of starts to position you as a resource. So it's you're more than just what you can come up with on your own. You're actually someone who's, the word is thought leader, but you're someone who's a resource for your particular area of expertise, so that you have interests, connections, what have you, in that area that normal people wouldn't have.
Excuse me?
Yes.
You said that if you can post anything if you give an attribution?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, you run it, well, especially if you're not selling it. Sales sort of creates a whole other kettle of fish thing. But as long as you're not pretending it's something that you created. I mean, if you look on any social media platform that people are sharing all the time, that's pretty much what sharing is. Here I found this interesting article on, bluefish. I think, whatever it is. So you've got the whole world open to you in that respect. Right?
Thank you.
Questions?
Yes, please.
Okay, so typically, and I know other libraries do this too, we
Yes.
have like a monthly newsletter, right? So we'll tell you everything that's happening in June.
Right.
Send it early June.
Sure.
We have a lot of events at my library, so I can't just keep sending emails for each event.
Right,
So
right.
how does that, am I doing that wrong? Should I be doing it weekly? Like, should I send a weekly
Yeah.
one of here's what's coming up this week?
Yeah, I would do
Okay.
that. I would also at the top of the email feature the big one.
The big one, okay.
Whatever the big one is, lead with that, and then because the whole idea is to get people to come into the library, right?
Because I mean, we do have like email followers or whatever that
Right.
look for that email every month.
Which is great, yeah. And
So
you can also
it's hard to
Well,
keep the people interested who are already there and then get new people as well.
right. I mean, you could augment that monthly one with, like, if you have Bernie Williams or whoever it is, if you have something that you know is going to be a big,
Sure, like feature that and say and then the.
or just do like a single email as
Well,
that
sure,
for
yeah,
that
we do that for
particular
like
event.
big events, but
That's
like
what I'm saying.
generally,
Right.
we have a lot of events, so I can't just keep sending emails out each one.
No, I know, I know, you go crazy and you lose everybody.
Right.
Yeah, but I think you got to use your common sense. The big thing, I would lead with the sexiest item on the list, and then just mention that there's more to come. I had a client who tried doing it the opposite way. She tried because she actually spent more time promoting the events that people were not coming to. Because she sort of felt sorry for them. She basically felt she figured they needed the most help, and it's like, well, no, it's sort of the other way around. Because again, the whole key is to get people to come into your building, and once they're in the building, you can upsell them all over the place. So obviously, okay, so tools. So constant contact with your schedule. We went over the automation. You can schedule individual emails as you need to. Also for social media, there's things like Hootsuite. Familiar with Hootsuite? Hootsuite is basically it's a scheduling tool, and you can schedule social media posts, in the future. So you spend you spend like an hour not even an hour, on like say Sunday night, you do your entire week, and then you don't have to touch it again. So. Okay, see, monthly is most common. Right? There's also, if you need to, there's also tools that let you curate information. Like there's something called I believe it's called Flipboard. And what I do is I tell them the topics I'm interested in, and it will go on the internet and find articles about that topic and serve them up to me on a daily basis. And again, I had a client who was a physical therapy center. So the doctors are very busy, they don't have time to write, and I don't know anything about physical therapy other than my neck hurts. So basically, so tools like that, again, they're great time savers, and they give you access to a lot of information. So as far as email goes, the other thing you want to schedule with an email is you need to test. So you want to test to see what's the best time and days for the particular emails you want to send out. So the idea is to, I don't know if you need to select 3 different audiences, but the idea is to sort of segment your list into 3s, or your test list into 3s. Pick 3 days of the week, and then send the email out during those days and see where you get the best open rate. Right now, that's the day of the week. Now you basically do the same thing for time. So again, for time, so you take your list, you know what day works for you now, and that's kind of like random. I mean, I've had success sending emails on Friday afternoons, and it's like people check their email before they go away for the weekend or something. So that for me, that's always been a really good time. Friday afternoons, like historically, the best times have always been. And again, it varies, but like around 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, like when people get to work. Weekdays, yeah, weekdays. Weekends are a wild card. Although, I mean, everybody is online all the time, so, but anyway, so again, around noon, when people go to lunch, and then again, sort of at the end of the day. So the times, it's basically the times people go back to their offices. Okay, and again, but it depends on, my wife works as a marketing director for a theater company. They do most of their work late in the day and at night. So she's actually, her whole day shifts to the end of the day. So we start with a small list. And again, you want to pick up on your branding. We're talking about being consistent. Images are very important. These are just some basic best practices. It's very important that you make the call to action. Generally, graphics work better than text links, and you want the call to action to be very simple. You don't want to give people a lot of choices on the email. I mean, you may be promoting, even if you're promoting multiple events, you want to make. Well, here's an interesting thing. I'm sorry. What's your name? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you. Yeah. So how does this work? So you send out an email that might list like 12 events.
Do everything for the month. That's more than 12.
Well, whatever. I'm just
So
trying to get a sense.
Yeah.
All right. So then, what happens next?
What do you mean happens?
Is there a separate event page for each event?
Well, no. Most of our stuff, our demographic is more people don't always have a computer to sign up for things, right? So they actually physically call or come in to sign up, especially
Right.
for our children's programming.
Right.
So, I mean, really, once that email goes out, if it goes,
Yes.
I send it out at like 7:30 in the morning. It's like most of our audience is probably young mothers who are already up at that time.
Mhm.
So they will, as soon as we open at 10, they'll call and start signing up for things. Typically, I mean, depending on the event and what it is.
Okay, so the call to action
Is to sign up.
is the call more
Right.
than.
Mhm.
Is there a way to sign up online or?
No.
No.
Not
Oh, so
really.
they do need to call.
But we do have, you know, for more adult programs, we'll have an email to sign up for things
Oh,
sometimes,
okay.
but generally it's call or email at my library.
Right. All right. So you might look into the event module. The sign-up forms really, you know, will get more people to sign up, basically.
Right.
Because they can do it immediately, right there and then when they're thinking about it. Yeah. Like I said, nothing more. And again, these are just basic best practices for doing your email.
There's a
Yes.
program that's called Beanstack that libraries use to register. That's something that we could connect with that to
Well,
sign
how
up
does-
through Beanstack. or-
Well, you can include a link
Yeah.
in the email that can go anywhere. So if Beanstack works, that would be the thing to do. Okay.
Question?
Yes.
Making the pictures clickable, you mean to make them large?
No, to make it so it's another link.
Oh,
So let's say you have an article. That's what I do with my stuff. I have an article. Every article has a graphic, and the graphic is just another way to get to the main story. Yes.
Okay, so sometimes they send us a specific document that they want us to link to our email.
Right.
And it's like a nightmare, you can't, I'm not kidding, you can't upload it. I try to save it as a PDF, I try to save it as a JPEG, but
What?
when you're in the creating part,
Yes.
it will not let you upload it. You
Yeah.
know, when you can add text or photo or image,
Can we go back to
Is
the?
there-
Yes.
like what we do in that agreement.
There's a thing. Because I've done that. There's a thing that lets you upload a.
So sometimes they don't send it to me correctly, and I have to like play with it. to
Right.
get it. So what's the best way for us to save it on our desktop as? Sometimes it tells me file not, you know, unrecognizable file or something. And it's like, you know, their bio or their.
Yeah.
Their.
Well, I think it only recognizes JPEG.
It doesn't recognize the file. So sometimes it won't let
It
us.
only recognizes JPEG. Let me just see something. Because I ran across this before.
So sometimes it's in the email and I just save it to the desktop. So I try to pull it from the desktop. Sometimes. You should try, and I usually try images to these.
Done this.
Sometimes they're too large.
Let me just see.
Click on the picture and say change. Replace. Replace. Right, and there is a.
Download file, right?
File.
We don't have.
Browsing.
But that's where you go, browsing, right?
Right.
Right.
Hang on.
So when you do all, right. so-
There's all files. Yeah, 'cause I've done this.
You have to have a PDF on there. We don't have.
Right, you don't have any PDFs on there. I'll get, you know what? Give me your name.
Okay.
I'll get back to you, because I know I've done it.
Thank you.
I don't quite remember.
Sometimes it works beautifully, there's other times that we just cannot get it to upload.
Also, if you go to tech support,
Uh-huh.
because there is something that says, you know, upload, you know, is it an image or is it a document? So if it's a document, they'll take PDFs, which is, you know, images, I think they just do JPEGs, yeah.
Do you want to embed the document into
Yeah,
your
like
email?
sometimes, you know, like we had a nutritionist and she
Right.
wanted her specific
Right.
bio kind of thing included in our email. So normally it's like,
Right.
uploaded,
Right.
there it is, and then we do our
Right,
pictures,
right.
stuff, blah, 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 and sometimes, you know, depending on the way they.
Well, is it a-
Save it, or, I mean, and of course we can get back to them, but it's like this whole thing where we have the information, it would just be, just forget it.
Well, is it,
The other,
I
a link?
Yeah, one other option is if for some reason it's not able to embed it into the actual document, you could link to it and save it on like your server or something.
Well, that's what I was, that's what I was getting at, yeah, that it'll be a click, well, I don't know if you could leave,
Like, it would send you to her bio or.
And you could also save,
Well,
you can save her document on your server, on your website,
Right.
and just save it, and then take the URL,
Right.
put that in as the link. If, I mean, that's kind of like lab,
so,
Sometimes
what,
it's
what
hard
did,
to expect that they just open it and
It's
it's
just there.
well, did you wanna
Like,
put
too much
the,
clicking sometimes
wait, did you wanna put the
doesn't-
document, like, in the email, or do you
Yeah,
wanna
basically, I
put a
want that to
link?
be my photo, I want that to be like my image and some of my information. And then just
That I
log
don't think
into
it does. That, what it'll do is it'll give you a link, like the PDF.
But why?
Yeah,
Why won't it? Why
Well-
can't it? Because there's a lot of people that ask us to use their, like musicians have given us their own information, nutritionists, what? Help me.
It's a matter of
Sometimes it's all
format,
different.
it's a matter of formats, I mean, for the most part,
But
you
is
know.
there a way for us to save it so that it would work? That's my
Well,
question.
JPEGs, it'll take JPEGs.
JPEG or PDF, that's
Yeah.
the two things, that would work.
And I think mostly JPEGs, I mean, embedding a PDF and even embedding a PDF in a regular website sometimes is tricky. So that's why most times people just give you a link. And generally, or if you see like a thumbnail of that image, that's probably a JPEG. It's almost like video. You know, you can use video, like you can't embed a video in your email. What you do is you embed a link to the video.
Right, and they would have to like on.
Right, so this is the same.
That part I guess.
It's the same thing with the PDF. Yeah, but I know there's, because I know it'll allow you to upload a PDF and create a link. And then I think it even creates, I'll look into this, because I think it even creates like a thumbnail of the PDF.
And then the.
But again, you're gonna link, but it's not the actual PDF. It's basically like it's like a screenshot or something, you know?
Yeah, sometimes we just get requests, I'm sure other libraries do too, and they want us to send their information. So,
Well, the only other option is if they send you their information, say, as a Word document, and then you can cut and paste and actually make it part of the email, which would probably be better, frankly, than, unless, well, is it like a long document? Is it like, you know?
sometimes it has a picture, which is why we're trying to upload it, 'cause it's got like her, you know, like this particular one, it was like her bio and her picture and her, yeah, and her, right, and it's her logo on, you know, what she's bringing to our library.
Right.
So it's like, I can't really play with it because it's her, you know.
I would definitely recommend anytime you have an event and you have a presenter that has their own branding, have them send you their marketing materials as like a zip folder. So their logo as a JPEG, their headshot or whatever it is.
Right, I'm sure that's what it is, I'm sure they're
Yeah.
just sending it to us in a.
And then you have it, again, if you're gonna use them again
Right.
later. You can manipulate how it looks in your own email.
Thank you.
Yeah, or again, or a screenshot of whatever the document is.
Right.
You know, and then start with that, you know.
Can I ask you to go back?
Yeah,
to-
sure.
To the flyer you just had up, the one that you were trying to replace the picture on?
Yes.
There's something there that, okay, where the map is,
Yes.
if you put the cursor over it, then the line will come up, the vertical line. Yeah, okay.
Right.
Now, I have a text box. Next to that segment there, that line.
Right.
I can't move it, I can't delete it.
This?
Um,
Is this what you're talking about?
yes. I know it's gotta be a simple thing.
Well, you need to put in a box that doesn't have a line. Well, what is it you're trying to do?
I wanna get rid of that so I can use the entire.
Okay, so there are boxes. I mean, the problem with the particular editor is they made a number of assumptions. In trying to make this as easy as possible, they've created a bunch of components that in and of themselves can only be edited up to a point. So there is a box. There is a box. Here we go. So these boxes here,
Yeah,
those are full width.
right.
So,
So,
you wanna take,
so show me anything.
okay, because what you wanted to do is take a 2-column box and make it a 1-column box. And what they want you to do is use a 1-column box. So, and basically all you have to do is you take this box here, and you can place it wherever, the purple rule. And now this is so that's a box that takes up the whole line.
Well, what I'm trying to do is get rid of what's there, get rid of that map section, and just open that up.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah, you wanna just remove this?
Yeah.
When we're done, let's go over that together.
So then there, that's gone.
All right,
So
now
you see these little handles on the
Yeah,
side? Right.
I thought I tried it.
Well, the little handles let you make some changes to the box, depending on what it is.
All right. Well, with me, it's text, and
Right.
the text doesn't delete. What you're saying, use that. So
Yeah.
That's supposed to do it?
Well, again, what you're trying to do sounds really simple. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out where you're having an issue.
Well, your thing worked.
And it's not even my account, it's their account, so.
So you just deleted the double box and then you put in.
Well, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, they don't want you changing the boxes.
Right.
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 Right, you have to basically pick the box they want you to use. And part of that, part of it is to make the editor as easy to use as possible. And part of that is also, they're following their best practices as far as creating the email goes.
Because the sheet that I'm using, I copied from someone
Yeah,
else's campaign.
that's- yeah.
And had that original thing in
Right.
there. But I can, that's the cure.
Yeah, basically just delete the one you don't want to use and put in a new one. Now, even though this has a big, you can do anything you want to this text here. Just to show you. Let's copy this. So, you can, again, you can do whatever you want with the text, you can do anything you want with these boxes.
Yeah, I do it all the time, I move around.
Right,
Just have that
yeah,
one
but you just had that one little, well, again, I think you can't turn a 2-column box into a 1-column box. So just delete the whole row and start fresh. Anything else?
Could you click on the insert menu while it's open?
Where?
It's in that toolbar that, next to the trash.
There we are, yes.
Okay. Could you click on the chain link next to it?
Here, document.
Yeah, I've tried it.
So what do you get? Because I've used
Just
it.
you go to it and you go to the upload and on the computer and then it just says either unknown file or it just doesn't appear. It just doesn't appear.
Well, what's the format of the?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, sometimes it's all different, but I try to save them usually as a JPEG or a PDF. I guess if it's a PDF,
Right.
it's not going to recognize it. Sometimes it won't save as a JPEG. I don't know. I don't find it to be user friendly. I'm sorry.
No, they've gotten complaints. I want to say we, I had nothing to do with this. Basically, let me look into it a little bit, because I know I've used it with some success, so, let me just, and I maybe give you some guidelines, so.
When it's an image, it's easy.
No, the image, yeah,
You know,
it's designed to use images,
Right.
yeah.
The
But as far as
document
conveying a
might-
document.
The document might be actually looking for some kind of document extension like Word or something like that.
Well, obviously there's a
Rather than
specific.
PDF.
Right.
Because PDF is really just a
I've
picture of
used,
the document.
but I've used PDFs, so let me look into this. No, I've had success with, because that's all I upload.
Yeah.
It might have to do with the size of the document. If it's too big, like if it's a multi-page document with a photo, it would just be that it was just too big. And it just, it'll clog up everybody's email box, so they're not interested in it. It's the same reason why you can't do video, it just would swamp other people's boxes, so. All right, so it's just after 11. You wanna take a break? Figure like, what, 15 minutes, 10 minutes? Right? 10, let's figure 10 minutes. There's plenty of bagels left over. Okay?
online community know that we're taking a little break.
Let me take yes, let me know. So, first time I taught in class, I taught college classes on design. The first time I taught class, I blew through the 3-hour bulk of information in 45 minutes. Tendency to talk fast. So anyhow, so I just went on to the next lesson, you know, and talk slower. But I'm pretty much, like, the presentation's done.
Okay.
So I could do demonstrations for the next hour. I can answer questions.
Okay.
Let me see what they'd like to do. Unless you have some suggestions.
See?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're all staring at the bagels. Is there something wrong?
I think they're deciding what to do.
Is Margaret around?
Yes, she's in her office at the moment. She might be in a meeting.
I mean, well, this is, I just want to, she's available, I just want to say hi.
Yeah, she said she'll stop here.
I'm gonna go see if it's here.
If you want, we can ask them what they would like. If they
Yeah,
want
that's
more
what I was gonna do. Yeah.
Great,
I
yeah.
wasn't sure if there's,
Okay.
Can I look at something here?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get rid of the home.
Oh.
What would you like to look at?
Oh, actually, I wanted to look at I wanted to find an example I wanted to look at my
You got my coffee. Are you gonna be okay with that?
No.
Your chocolate.
Yeah, I know. There might be not working.
Everybody sign in? Did everyone sign in? Everybody else good?
Yes.
I have a friend who is at a nonprofit, and they
Yeah.
had it, constant contact, and then they said they canceled it because they only had like a 20% open rate. But like you're
Yeah.
saying, it doesn't, 20% could be great. It depends
It
on the
depends.
return on
A return on
investment, yeah.
investment, a return depends on, I mean, if it's a loyal 20%,
Yeah.
20% isn't bad, actually. Usually anything over 10. Yeah. I used to work direct mail, and if we got a 2% return, we were having parties. Yeah, you can't look at the people who don't open. They're gone, they're lost. The people who do open, and then the people who click. And then the other thing I have found through doing my own regular email is that even if people don't open it, the fact that they see me once a week has some value. So they may not actually go and read this thing that, I spent a fair amount of time writing, but they'll call me because, oh yeah, he's out there, I need something. So the advantage of email over, email and social media work very, very well together. The advantage email has is that it's something you are delivering directly to people. So you know for sure whether they've opened, whether they've ignored it, whether they don't want to hear from you anymore. Social media is, in the sense, is like regular advertising in that you really don't know who's seeing it when. Unless they take an action, unless they're sharing or commenting or whatever, you have no clue really as to who actually saw it and whether it affected them in any way.
Is there a way to increase the click rate? Because usually my open rate is very high, the 20 to 30.
Yes.
On my click rate, you
Click rate is
10%.
it's just awful.
Is there a way to start?
Yeah, part of it is how you treat the call to action. The click rate, you want them to click on something, right?
Right.
So what is it you want them to click on?
It's usually an e-newsletter.
Okay, so all right, so they'll open it, right?
Right.
Okay, that's great. You got them to open it. Now, why are they clicking on the email once it's open?
They're signing up for an event.
You want them to sign up for what?
For the various events. Right?
Okay. Well, all right. Well, there's only so much you can do because they have to be interested in the event.
Okay.
So you either need to focus on events that you're getting a lot of traction on, or make those events sound, as sexy as possible.
But can I use more adjectives, more descriptive adjectives or something?
Again, in that case, I think it varies from subject matter to subject matter, but every subject matter has its keywords, or it has its words that'll resonate with people who are interested in that. So I would stay focused on that. Let those people. You've already got a restricted audience because, so what sort of events? Like, is it music? Is it lectures?
Yes, there's a variety of things.
Yeah, so it depends. I'm sure. What gets you the biggest,
Sorry?
What gets you the biggest response from what sort of events are the most popular?
Musical programs.
Musical. Okay, any particular kind of music?
No, there's classical.
It varies.
jazz.
So you need to focus on it. Like I said, that's a little different because if they don't care for the particular type of music, it doesn't matter what you say really. as opposed to selling something and even that's a little tricky. The easiest thing is to just give people some sort of again, a downloadable, an information piece, which is something you might try. You know, there may be some sort of a white paper or something that you could offer that they'd be interested in. I mean, you have a library, right?
Or like a YouTube video, click for a YouTube.
Or click for a video,
Yeah,
but the idea is to give them something. You know, if they're not interested in any of the events, well, then give them
Yeah.
something. So at least you've kept them interested. You know. Or the other thing is what I did this for another client. If you're talking about a concert, so if the artist performing at the concert have a video, you could link to that, and that might even add to more people showing up because they're getting a feel or a look at, you know, who these people are. I would probably try that because you're kind of giving them a free sample of whatever the music is, and that might encourage them to, you know. Okay. Yes.
At what point should you kind of like purge some of the emails that you have? I know people can unsubscribe by choice, but what if you just have a certain percentage of people that are not opening it? Maybe it could be they don't use that email anymore.
Right.
Or they change their email, something like that.
Right.
How often would you suggest maybe like once a year start looking
At least once a year,
and
yeah.
then delete a bunch that just are not opening?
I mean, a lot of them self-select, you know. So either they'll, like you said, they'll unsubscribe. If the email isn't any good, you'll find that out. So that kind of does some purging for you. But yeah, I think if it looks like you got a lot of dead wood, and I would say at least, I would do it twice a year. Yeah. You want to get that list as tight as possible, you know. Conversely, I think what you want to do is, I started creating a separate list of like loyal, you know, followers. People who always open or always click. And I've started to do special stuff for them.
Okay.
So they may get a little extra something, just again to keep it, you know. So in my case, so yes, I'm running like a little ad agency. So those people I might try to sell them on using my services in a non-intrusive way, because I know they're interested in what I've had to say up until now.
Thank you.
So for those people that you just talked about,
Yes.
your best clients, how
Yes.
did you identify them on Constant Contact?
Constant Contact does really good tracking.
So where would
Can I go back to the? I'll show you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, where do you find those dead emails?
The what?
Where do you find the dead emails, like the ones that nobody's looking, you know, like, I have maybe, 37% people who respond back, like out of 100. So what can I do about the 60, whatever percent?
Well, sometimes it's not always the same 37%. That 37% may involve different people during the course of the year.
Right, but that's true, but how do I get retrieve all those emails?
Well, one thing you can do, because you can, you can go into your database and select people who've opened an email.
Okay.
You select opens, right? So I mean, you can do something where, you know, you create a separate list of people who open, throw away the main list, because that has, you know, good and bad, and then upload only the good.
Okay.
That would be one way to sort it. So.
Because sometimes, like when you're typing in an email, maybe you might, like Bill, for example, like name Bill, you might put an extra L in there.
Yeah.
You don't even know that she even did it, and then people are calling and say, well, why am I not getting emails? Gee, I don't know, you know. So you go
Well, that's the first thing to check is
the email itself.
Is the address correct?
Right.
Because well, I'll show you. We get a lot of. Okay, now. Tracking. Do you mind if I open an existing campaign?
Sure.
We'll go over the tracking information. The tracking information is great, but only if you send something in. This is mine. Okay. Oh yeah, we can use mine. This could be embarrassing. Okay. Let's pick a good one here. All right, here. So this was an email I did for an event I was speaking at. And this is the end result. The click rate is deceiving because I wasn't really asking them to do anything. I was just telling them that here's this event. We got like about somewhere between 30 to 40 people at the event. So the event was well attended. But I just to show you the categories of tracking information you get. So what I was also able to do with this, what I also did with this email, because it was an event, is remember I told you there was a feature where you could resend the email to people who did not open it the first time. So I did that here, and I basically bumped the numbers up. So let's start. So original is, those are the number of emails that went. Well, let's start here. This is pretty interesting. So you see desktop versus mobile. So basically this told me mostly people were at work when they were opening this, okay? You get the originals, you know, how many emails were sent out? An activity. And this is opens. Excuse me, I was reading this incorrect. So we start with opens. So we got a total of 229 opens. From this tells you how many I sent was 907. Bounces. Okay, bounces are basically
Bad addresses, email filters.
Probably mail filters. Well, it comes back to that. Right. Okay, these are bounces. Pardon me a second. Right, bounces were the ones that were undeliverable. So they could be undeliverable for any number of reasons. They could be undeliverable because it's the wrong email address. People change jobs. People get fired. You know, it's basically there was something wrong with the email. A lot of times, you need to check that because it'll come up if some people are on vacation. When people are on vacation, they're basically not receiving emails. So it's not that they're not interested in your company or your library. They just were not around. So you need to pay attention to why was it bounced? Okay. And then basically these were successful deliveries. So these were the ones that got through. Okay. So. Then on the other side we have activity. Now if I click on these, this is the other cool part. So here.
If you wanted to find out why
Here.
the email bounced, you click on the bounce.
Yeah. So this is basically everybody who opened the email. So I know exactly who opened, when they opened, and when. So you can see, if you're building any kind of momentum or something. So
You can do the same for the people who didn't open.
yes, right, yeah. So you can call them up and say, what's your problem? Anyway.
Can you click on the bounces?
Yes, yeah, let's do the bounces. Okay. Okay, so you can see, these are just undeliverable. So it doesn't mean, they weren't blowing you off, they just were not undeliverable. It could be all sorts of reasons. Some companies have a really, really stringent filter. They have a very, very, very effective firewall. So you just can't get through. Okay, this person, their mailbox was full. Okay, that's why I have somebody on my list. Her mailbox has been full for 2 years. I finally took her off the list. I figured she's just not an email person. This is what I was talking about before. Vacation, right? So especially as summer's coming, people may not be around. Okay, this account was suspended for whatever reason. So Yahoo threw this person off. And so another vacation. So sometimes the undeliverables it's an incorrect email address. So the first thing I would check on undeliverable is that I get the address right. All right?
So, but
yes.
what happened was I had a patient who called and she gave me her email and I looked it up and it was the same exact email as what she gave me. But
Right.
then I had to call Constant Contacts up and
Yes.
find out why why, she's not getting emails. So what I had to do is there were certain buttons that I had to press in order to put her back on.
Right.
So I guess that's the situation when I had to call constant contact.
So you had to go into her contact.
Yeah, there was a certain thing I had to do with. I had to take it out and then I had to put it back.
Oh,
in.
you created a new record for that.
Yeah, but it was
for
the
that
same
person.
exact email.
Yeah,
which
so there was
kinda odd.
something. Yeah.
Something funky about that.
It could be. Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
computers. Things happen.
Yeah, nothing's ever perfect.
Right,
but,
yeah.
It's happened to not only one person, it's been happening to a couple of people.
You might.
So, that's the problem I've had.
So-
People
so-
don't
so-
want to get them.
They're not unsubscribing though, right?
No,
Because
they're
we
not.
had that issue and if they unsubscribe, it's like impossible.
Oh no, that's it. No, they're gone.
Right.
Yeah, they're
Right.
gone.
And they won't let you.
They won't let you put them back in, no.
Even if you send them constant contact.
I know.
Send me an email.
Right.
To send to them to approve it and agree, and you still can't put.
Well,
them in.
again, they constant contact is they're very sensitive to the whole spamming issue. So they basically err on the area of the caution on that person already unsubscribed. They said they're not interested, so leave them alone, basically.
But yet they call you and say, why
Well,
am I not
sometimes they
getting
do it by
emails?
accident. I think.
Well, that's kind of
I think in our
interesting. Well,
case,
there
they
might
did
be
it by
something.
accident.
There might be something on your end somehow.
Yeah, well, I had to call them up and then actually I had to call them a few times for different patrons.
Did they give you a reason?
No, they just said that you have to take it out, put it back in again. I just find that kind of odd because.
But see, when you do that, doesn't it say this contact already exists?
Sometimes I think
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, because it's what it tells us.
Yeah, that's what it does. It comes up
But-
as, but yet she's not getting any emails unless she doesn't
Well,
know how to look at it.
after you did that,
It could be another.
I wonder sometimes if it's because, do we send an email when they register, and then you have to like click on it, sometimes you have to like confirm.
Accept, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think some people just don't accept it on my list, and then they're
Yeah.
yelling at me, why don't I get an email? And I'm like, I can only do so much for you.
right, exactly. That could be it too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Did she look at spam? I mean, to go
Well, I told her
in the
it was spam,
obvious.
yeah.
So let's go to the obvious solution.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also dealing with this, with the senior citizens too as
Oh,
well, and they're
yeah.
elderly.
Right.
So, sometimes they just don't know how to open the spam or they don't
Right.
know how to open it at all. I'm like, well, it's there, you should, and
Right.
they're just sort of like, they're insisting that it's not there. And I told I keep telling them, repeat the emails and everything, and then that's when I call constant contacts.
Well, I find it interesting that they gave you a solution,
Yeah.
which
Yeah, it's-
tells me that that's happened.
That happened,
Might be
yeah.
happening to other people.
Exactly.
So it could be somehow the email gets corrupt on its
Yeah, it's
on
just
its
very
way.
strange.
That is odd, yeah.
It's happened to a few people that they've been getting my attention on, so.
All right. Well, let me
Yeah, it's kind of.
see what I can find out. All right.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's basically what do we have here. Yeah, these are the bounces. Yeah. I mean, for instance, yeah. So I know now that that's an incorrect email. So that's because I know that woman fairly well. So let's see what else we got.
So if you go under contacts, can you see by email addresses how many emails they've opened from you?
Yes.
You can.
Oh yeah.
Can you show us that?
Anything questions here? Let's just go down. I mean, it bounces, successful deliveries, demands. We have clicks. Right, what the clicks are. Did not open. Right. I think that's kind of interesting. You can see exactly all these people did not open. And it could be for all kinds of reasons, but at least you know who they are.
And you could also double check their email and make sure that's correct as well.
Well, these didn't bounce. These were delivered and did not get open. So these are, they're good. They just, for whatever reason. And then unsubscribe. Oh, no, they usually give you a reason for unsubscribe. So the reasons are either the content's no longer relevant, or I never signed up for this, or
reason.
yes, the reason is the content's no longer relevant. So this, for whatever reason, this person is not interested in marketing information. But the other reason is they never signed up in the first place. So at least you know why. And then you never know who reported you as spam. It doesn't.
They don't tell you?
They don't tell you. No, they don't tell you. You just know someone ratted you out. like witness protection, you know, you wanna keep them safe. So, okay, so we wanted to look at the contacts, right? Let me look at somebody who I know is opening stuff. Okay.
Oh.
So this guy has been opening my stuff, you know, for quite some time.
Does that show things that are not yours also?
What do you mean?
Things you didn't send, but...
No, just what I sent. I frankly don't care. He has a vibrant life of his own, that's, you know, that's great, but I need to know that he's looking at my stuff.
So under reports, I could ideally pick like top 100 best email addresses.
I don't think it'll tell that for you. You sort of have to, that's actually a really good feature to suggest. And I mean, here you can see, so the top line is open, and then the bottom line is clicks. Some of this is a little, because they go by percentages, some of this is a little misleading, because like the ones with the high percentage was a small list. We like an invitation to specific people that I knew were going to answer, so you know. But again, so this will give me how my past 25 campaigns are trending, so you can see over time whether things are, you know, again, for me this doesn't really work because I do it for a different purpose. But if you're doing one for a library or a business, and you're looking to have a sustainable campaign over, say, the course of a year, this will be really, really valuable. And what else can we do with this? Go back to so you can also tag. You can either create separate lists, or you can create a big list and just tag people. I actually find that to be a little bit easier to manage, because you wind up with a lot of little separate lists. And then that will allow you to segment the list, so there's even another layer you can add to this. For me, the only thing I really want from people, I want to make it as easy as possible for them to sign up. So all I ever ask for initially is first name, last name, email address. That's, if we wind up doing business together, then I'll get the rest of the information. And if we don't do business together, it doesn't really matter. So, and again, they're very big on getting permission. What is this? Yeah. Okay, just okay. Any other questions?
No.
Yes.
So
Yes.
maybe. So I'm fairly new to our library, and
Yes.
I found out it seems like there's 2 separate email lists. Maybe you can help me with this. So we have patrons that receive emails from books, like your book is overdue, like you need
Right.
but then it doesn't mean those people get our library emails. So do you have any suggestions in terms of how I would love to see more of the people that get those notifications get our emails? And I think some people may be confused and think that they're signed up to get our emails,
Yeah.
but they're not. They're just signed up. Do you know what I mean? So is there a way to move those people and get their correct permission to be able to
link it.
send out our promotion?
I would send out an email to those people saying, you
So
know,
is that a possibility, like the Buckles list email asking them, like, are you getting your library specific promotion emails, and then, I don't know.
You could definitely send out, like
Yeah.
I said,
Get
an email
permission.
asking them to sign up for your
That's
list.
what I'm wondering too.
Well,
Right,
you
but you
have to
can't-
put it, they can't.
Where would I get that?
Right, they don't merge
No.
the two. The two can't merge because one is within the library system, within the catalog system.
Right,
The other one is constant
Yeah.
contact, so you can't merge the two.
At the front desk.
Mhm.
yeah, you can make a sign up form.
Yeah.
Right, I think they're
Exactly.
very confused, they think that they're signed up for.
Right.
Because they have.
Well, you can just let them know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
like
push
do that.
push them,
Yeah,
or
that's
give them the
good.
option to move themselves to that list as well.
Yeah, you want to see here.
At the certain desk.
Yeah.
So there's a number of sign-up forms you can create. So I would just create.
You can put them on a website, yeah.
Right.
Well, you can embed it in a website.
Embed it in the website.
You can just embed it in an email. You can just send them a link.
And the fact that you're finding that they're confused between the
Yeah,
two,
yeah.
I would just make it very clear, you're signing up for you're signing up for
Right, we
email, and
Right.
this you're signing
Right,
up.
we clarify, you know, when we have a new patron, I think it's the ones that have had
Had it
library
in
cards,
the past,
whatever.
right.
And they are like, well, I didn't know about this event, I'm on the email list.
Right.
Oh.
We'll get this email for this overdue book.
Mhm.
And I'm like, no,
Yeah, I
that's
would
not the
assume.
email
Right.
list you're
I
on.
would
Yeah.
You could send a thing. Just I mean.
You just can't contact them, that's the thing.
Well,
Because
you
they're
don't
on a
want to
different
send them an
event.
email saying, we've been annoying you for, not returning books. I mean, you might just send them an email that says something like, you may not be receiving our regular event email,
Right. I
If
guess
you would
that-
like to receive it, here's the form.
Yeah, I guess that's a Buckles question.
It is a Buckles question.
Yeah, that if that's something.
It's a
You can't do
privacy.
that.
Right, you can't do that.
Because
You
we don't
can't.
have access to that list at all.
Right.
You can't just, no, you wouldn't want to do that anyway, because they may not want to.
But you can.
You
They
have
may-
to have them sign up for it specifically. So,
Right.
Yeah.
like she was saying, maybe in your library
Yeah,
have
we
a
do
place
have
for sign
signage
up.
at the start desk,
Mhm.
and it is on our website, but.
So those people, when they contact you saying,
Then when
"Oh,
they-
I missed this event
right,
because I
when
wasn't
you add me,
saying."
then I'll add them.
Right,
but
sure.
I'm wondering if there's.
Unfortunately, that's really the only way to
large-
kind of keep house in as far as that's concerned, because you can't just blanket email to people who have signed up for a library card.
You can't, but we can't, like, Buckles can't just ask them then if they have permission to be added to constant contact.
Or
Like
like
yesterday, I
even
gave a
one.
new girl a library card for Old Pan, and then obviously I had to go into constant contact and do it separately.
Right.
But why on the bottom can't we ask them right there on the Buckles page? Can we ask them for
When you mean
permission
when
there?
they're registering
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
their library card, I'll ask Mike if that's something that we can add
That
to
would be
it.
awesome, because then it would be two birds.
It won't
Well,
connect to
Oh,
your
it still
constant.
won't.
That's what I
No,
was
it's
gonna
still never
say.
gonna.
It still has
It's
to
never
be
gonna
two steps.
connect to your constant contact account, and you all have separate constant contact accounts, so you're never privy to somebody else's
That I
contact list.
understand.
Yeah.
That I understand.
so the library cards aren't tagged to specific libraries,
Yes,
right?
they
They
are.
are.
Your town,
Only your town.
We
So-
don't have
so-
access to that whole list
Right.
together.
Well, do you get a notice that such and such a person now has a library card? You don't get anything like, so
But
the only
what
way
they
you.
do, they'll get a notice that says, oh, welcome, la la la, your book is due. Just a reminder, your book is coming
So,
due.
so in that,
That's a separate.
That's a whole separate.
oh, that's,
from
well, then I
Buckles.
think what you need to do is what
That's
I'm saying, do you send out those emails?
No,
No.
Those-
they're
those-
automatically generated.
They're
Oh, so you have
automatically
no way of knowing
Right.
who those people are?
But it's hundreds different than, like, I know for our own library, it's a big difference. Big
Right, because this is a
difference.
market.
That's
This is
patron.
marketing.
Right.
That's just, right, that's just
Yeah.
registered patrons versus.
Well, the other thing you
constant
can do
contact.
is you can sign up people at the library, sign up for our, as people come in.
Right, that's
Yeah.
what we
That's
do.
exactly
Sign-
Or as they go to an event too, like,
That's good.
when you have 50 people.
Now,
there.
the other thing is they
Just
can,
have a sign up sheet.
they can sign up with text. Yes, let's see if we can get that. Sign up with text. Where did they hide that? Wait a minute
Oh,
here.
that's a hidden one.
Would Buckles ever consider sending out to their email list, just like, hey, are you guys getting specific program emails? If you want to get them, click here, and then is that a possibility?
I don't think so, because that
That's
falls
a lot of
under.
libraries.
Yeah, it falls under permissions and.
Permissions. Just trying to get through.
Yeah. I understand.
I also, I made a post to run on Facebook every once in a while,
Here.
asking people to message me if they want to join the, and then it's really funny because sometimes they'll just message you and say, I want to be on, and I'm like, can I have your email?
Right.
But it gets the ball rolling, so that's another way to hit people, because if they're
Yeah.
following you on Facebook, they're probably
Right.
gonna check their
Well,
email,
you
so.
can actually, you can set it up so they can sign up through a text message. So basically here, right, so basically I set this up, so if you text this keyword to this address, okay? And then I will basically send them a request message, and they will send me back their email address. So basically they can sign up, let's say they're at an event, they can sign up at the event on their phones without having to go online and go to a constant contact form. Or if you want to sign people up at the library, I mean, you can make like a little poster that just says, if you want to sign, get regular emails about our events, text events at this number.
I don't think Buckles has the text option. I don't think we have that in our package.
No? You want to check? Because it's great. I mean,
Well,
your
each
website.
library, it would be in each library.
Yeah.
I don't see that yet happening, where would it go text?
Well, wait,
Yeah.
wait, no, but you each have your own accounts, right?
Contact list,
Right,
right?
yeah.
But it's texting to the account, it's not texting your phone. Is that what you're saying? They're texting and it's just going to the constant contact list? That's where
Yeah, basically, this is set up, it's automatic, I don't have to do anything about it. So
Okay.
they'll text my name to that number, they then get a reply saying, send me your email address. The email address then goes into my database, and then they get a confirmation.
Do we have that on our buckle?
You should, it looks like it's just part of the, it's called text to sign up.
Yeah.
I just did that.
Well, again, if you want to get people to sign up at the physically at the library, they can just do it
That's
right
much
there. You
easier.
don't have to fill out a form, you don't have to put them online, they can do it right then and there with their phone.
I like that.
You can even make an announcement at the event, anybody here wants more events, text this to this, and it's bingo. It's really good at events. I've used it there, because you don't have to go on, again, you don't have to go online, so. While we're waiting. Any other questions, comments, issues? Yeah.
I have a question, not in this, but if
Yeah.
you can get to it on surveys, have you had experience in doing surveys?
A little bit. We can actually do one and see how that works out.
So
So we
wasn't
want to
sure what you were
go
looking
to
for.
sign up form.
Oh, there it
Yeah,
is.
right here. The second, under more tools, the second item is text to sign up.
Okay.
So you all have that capability. Text to sign up, and then you just, and you just set this up here.
Oh, I see.
Here, it says it's signed off. There it is. Yeah. You have to turn it on. There's a checkbox in the upper left-hand corner. Okay. So you turn it on. And then you basically fill out the fields. It'll give you the number. You put in whatever keyword you need, so you know it's you. It'll give you a number for them to call. And then you just fill out, you basically, you can select what list it goes to. So if you want to segment it by event or time of whatever, and then they have a thank you message. And it's that's simple.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is, yeah. It's a really great feature.
All right, I have a stupid question now.
Sure.
So, I bet you half our patrons' phone numbers that they gave us are like their home numbers, not their mobile numbers. It's not gonna, it's just.
Well, they have to. Well, they have
the
to.
undeliverable.
They text us.
Well, they have to do it.
And then it's constant
Yeah.
contact.
No, you're not calling them.
They have to be able to text.
Right.
No.
No, like when they sign up for a card, you can say, do you want to join our email list?
No, they text.
Text this number.
They text, like.
Right. Text this keyword to this number. Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, you don't call them. This is totally on their end.
So, and they're getting onto your email list.
Yeah.
They're putting in your email.
And it's
So
like
we don't have to
automatic, you don't have
enter
to do
it.
anything.
No.
It's just-
Great.
Yeah.
It just happens. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
can, now if you have two different email lists.
Oh, how do
You
you know
can-
what
you
it
can
is?
hear.
Two different.
You could have two different
Contact.
keywords. You can select what list you want it to go to.
So then in your keyword, you say like.
Right, yeah.
children's programming or adult programming.
Right. I need this, whatever. Or you could, or yeah, or, I mean, they're not selecting a list. They're just getting, you may
Right,
have.
but you want to either put them on, like we have children's YA.
You could do that, you could do it that
adults.
way, or you could have them go into like a general, text to sign up list, and then figure out where you want to put them after that.
Okay, well,
Yes?
I'm confused. Okay, so when somebody registers for a card, you ask them, do you want to sign up for Constant Contact? If so, call this number.
No, it's a text.
Text.
So we give them a number to
You have like
text.
the ideal way is to have like a little card on the desk
Yeah.
that just says, if you want information about library events, get on our mailing list, do this.
Okay.
Text this keyword to this number,
Right, got
and then
it.
the rest of it's
So
automated.
either give them the card, or I could just say to them.
I would,
"Do
you know what, I would have
sign
it
up?"
printed so that there's no mistake. I literally suggest have like a little table card
Yeah.
right next to you, and if you're interested in getting on our mailing list, here's the best way.
Thank
Right?
you.
And like I said, it's great. I mean, I've done it at events where the last slide in the presentation is, if you want to get on my mailing list.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's good.
I had an associate of mine actually did it. She turned it into a group activity at one of her events. She had everybody sign up at once. So that was pretty cool. What else was I gonna? I just thought of something, and then Any other questions? We have, what do we got left? All right, we got like 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, surveys, that's right. No, we're gonna do surveys, right. All right, so let's create a survey. All right, what do we wanna find out?
Who was your favorite author?
All right.
Since we're talking about surveys, I'd just like to remind you all to fill out your survey.
Oh, there you go.
And hand it to me before you leave.
So we're gonna use a template, right? Because we got 11 minutes. Oh, I see. All right, these are useless. All right, let's go back. Let me just see something here. Multiple choice, right? Okay. Right, so it's really simple. So we selected, this is a multiple choice survey. What is it? Who is your favorite author?
Yeah, or pick your favorite author,
Oh.
I guess if it's gonna be a choice.
Right.
Can you have an other selection there where they can type in a name in addition to the
Let
mobile?
me see, I don't think so. Yes, let respondents make a comment. Okay, and then here, option 1. All right, somebody give me an author,
Danielle Steele.
a shorter named author. Well, just with Steele, how's that?
Dan Brown.
Dan Brown, okay, there you go.
Grisham. Colvin.
Aesop, wait, let me see. Who? Talking about anybody.
Grisham.
I can't spell that.
Colvin.
Tobin?
Colvin.
C-O-B-A-N.
C-O-B-A-N.
Roberts.
No, it could, here, no.
Yeah, okay.
So we can, we can
Okay.
adjust it here. See up here, number of answers?
Right.
See?
Okay.
So we can leave it at, what, 4, for the sake of expediency? There, okay? Include other as a possibility. And then we go to make a comment. And we go to save. And where is it? Okay. Oh, here we go. Do you want? Yes, and here we are. So under campaigns, here's our survey. Publish. And then as people answer the survey, here we go, survey URL. All right, so you can create an invitation to take the survey. Right, okay, we don't need to do all this, but anyway. This is survey URL. Can I get another window? I just want to see what the survey looks like. Oh, here, right. Okay.
We can just add another one.
Oh.
Just click right first. We'll add another one.
Oh, okay. Oh, here. I'm a Mac guy, so this is a little. And there it is. Oh, you already had a survey.
I think that was a template.
Yeah, but that's not the one we created. But anyway.
Number 2, the question number 2. Pick your favorite author.
Oh, there it is. So, okay, so you had a pre-existing template.
Yeah, there was a template.
Okay, I got you. Okay. So, all right. So we screwed this up a little, but you see right here, right? So, to speed things up, I basically used a template, so we got all this other stuff. I should have started with a blank page and just did it, but you sort of get the idea that it's pretty easy to do these
There would
things.
be a submit button or something.
Yeah, it's probably at the bottom of this page, and then, that also gives you something to talk about. In your next email, regardless of how many people answer it. Generally, not a lot of people answer the surveys, but that really doesn't matter. It's usually a small enough sample that, and if you're lucky, you can start like an argument. People can argue. So who's favorite author? They can argue about that. So anyway, so we're just about out of time. Any last questions? All right. Well, I want to thank you all for coming today. I want to thank you for participating. Okay. Let me give you my card.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Sure. Okay, let me hand out my card. If you have any, if you think of anything, sure. Thank you. If you think of anything else, feel free to contact me.